Despite my lingering doubts, my love for her remained unwavering. In our 15 years of marriage, something strange that had never occurred before rang alarm bells in my head. When her new boss took over her office, her style shifted dramatically. 3 months later, I received a comprehensive dossier that shattered my illusions. The video, audio recordings, and photographs unreservedly confirmed my worst fears. On Wednesday afternoon, unbeknownst to her, I planned to surprise the illicit couple by confronting them at their Thursday night bash. Her audacity shocked me. Polly knew me best. She was intimately aware of my instincts, my determination, my unforgivable nature. She'd witnessed firsthand how ruthless I was in the business world, how I'd come to power and annihilated my rivals. I treated Polly like royalty in every way, and she was proud to share that with her friends and family. Yet, despite the fact that she adored me so much, she ruined it all for a brief affair. Why? That question has haunted me, even in my final moments. I am Henry Cooper, Polly's husband of 15 years and father of our 2 teenage daughters. I'm Henry Cooper, Polly's husband of 15 years and father of our 2 teenage daughters who adore their dad. I am a typical macho man, indefatigable, but cherish my wife and consider her my treasure. We have been together for 15 years, and on 2 occasions I struggled to control my jealousy, which erupted when aggressive men tried to pull Polly onto the dance floor despite her refusal, underestimating my determination. Polly was intimately familiar with my protective nature, and her decision to engage in an extramarital affair raised perplexing questions. Why would she risk everything we'd built together when she knew the extent of my loyalty and devotion to her? Was a question that had always plagued me. Every detail of Thursday's date night was carefully orchestrated and accompanied by one of my regulars. Despite my anger, I listened as he eagerly made plans, oblivious to the impending storm. Despite my conviction, there was still a lingering doubt deep down that I knew Polly loved me and her children, but the desire for revenge eclipsed any sympathy. Though my love for her remained, the betrayal irrevocably tainted our relationship, and I waited for the signal that the time was right. Thursday night arrived, and after receiving confirmation that the couple had been seated and served, I was ready to confront them face to face. My heart pounded when I saw the couple. The pain of betrayal mingled with resentment as I saw my wife in a cocktail dress, ravishingly glowing, accentuating her flawless figure, something she had never bestowed on me, an inexplicable gesture that stoked my burning anger and strengthened my resolve to uncover the truth. Polly and her companion were still reveling in their intimacy with each other, a stark contrast to the precise calculations I was about to face. I was at their table and wasn't noticed until I pulled a chair from a nearby table. She was a master of deception, and I had to admire her smoothness and agility as she effortlessly concealed her deception. When my drink order arrived, I brushed off Polly's fabrication and raised my glass to signal our toast. Jasper, do you know what the secret to Polly and my 15 years of happy marriage is? Yes, dear, trust and honesty are vital in our relationship, Polly affirmed confidently. There was not a trace of guilt or unease in her demeanor. You see, Jasper, our marriage has thrived on mutual trust. I grinned and asked, how long have you 2 been dating? Annoyed and trying to regain control of her tone, Polly said indignantly, honey, this is a total business meeting. I need to discuss some upcoming changes with Polly, and I apologize if there was any misunderstanding, but rest assured that my intentions were purely professional. Faking penance, I timidly apologized, sorry for any misunderstanding, and I mumbled, putting on an obeisance pose. I'm sorry, I mumbled, trying to restrain my inner resentment. Seeing you in that tantalizing gown with this charming man at your side, you can understand why I felt a little insecure. I motioned to the man watching at the bar. He approached the table with a thick folder and handed over the incriminating evidence. As I posed the incriminating photographs, I turned to Polly. My voice was filled with sadness. Polly, I loved you with all my heart, I whispered. My words were tinged with anguish, but your betrayal crushed our marriage. I'll never forget what I saw and heard. Thank you for destroying everything we had. Polly's gasp echoed in the tense silence. Her hand flew to cover her mouth. As I laid out Denning's evidence, I took a moment to scrutinize each photo and punctuate the air with sharp words. Polly's tears flowed freely. Her pleas for mercy fell on deaf ears as I struggled to keep our confrontation discreet. Careful, the prying eyes of the neighboring table realized the gravity of her predicament. Polly grabbed for a lifeline. I'm so sorry, baby, she pleaded. I looked at her with a sardonic grin. deliberately eliciting a response. "It's not what it looks like," I responded slowly with disbelief in my tone. "Are you really prepared to continue the charade, are you? As you both know, I am in possession of hours of incontrovertible evidence, videos, recordings, text messages, emails, and more. But rest assured, I understand everything." I made a gesture to my colleague to explain what we were up to. I nodded solemnly and handed Polly the divorce papers. My voice was heavy and determined. "Polly, our marriage is over. I declare my words a cold indictment that you and your lover have irreparably damaged my love for you tonight. You are going to sign these papers, witnessed by our notary public friend in the bar refuse, and I will expose every detail to your parents and friends. But our daughters will live with me, and they deserve better than a cheating mother. Jasper, my friend," and as I began to speak, my voice calm and firm, "I suggest that you persuade your girlfriend to sign these documents before I leave, or else I will hand a copy of all the evidence to your wife and to your executive team," and my words hung heavy in the air. The words hung heavy in mid-air, cutting through Polly's defenses. The prospect of losing custody of her daughter brought tears to her eyes and added a few more moments of despair, while her boyfriend's panic spilled over into the air. Polly's pleas for my forgiveness echoed with familiar desperation, empty promises of amends, explanations, and proclamations of love, but I remained impassive, using myself to fend off her emotional onslaught. Determinedly, I rose from my seat. I was going to the men's room, and I firmly declared that when I returned, those papers had better be signed. "Convince him that you love him, that you will do whatever it takes to save your marriage, promise him therapy at all costs, but make him wait a week. It's our only chance. I don't want to get a divorce," Polly cried, her voice choked with emotion. "Believe me, if you can make him wait, I'm sure you can save your marriage. Think of the kids. You don't want to lose your daughters, do you?" I asked her, "Have you signed these papers yet?" My tone was heavy. She stared at me and said in a voice filled with sadness, "Honey, I will do anything you want me to do, including signing these papers, but please give me a week to be with my daughters and talk it over. After 15 years, please give me that much time. I don't want you anywhere near my bed during this time. Sign the papers and I'm out of here." She signed the papers. I put them away in a folder, stood up and got ready to leave. Before I left, I held her hand and looked at her and smiled until I took off her wedding ring and dropped my wedding ring into her glass of wine. "She's your date, now do whatever you want with her." I spit out the words in anger, "But remember, you slept with my wife, ruined our marriage, jeopardized a lot of things including my children's love for their mother. Your ass is mine, I have your balls, don't mess with me, and you're lucky I didn't have to carry out my original plan on you." As I was getting ready to leave, Polly grabbed my arm, her voice pleading, "Henry, can I come home with you? I just want to be with you, please." I gave her a week to think about her behavior, and now it was time to see what would happen the next morning. When we met in the kitchen the next morning, I was still firmly determined to get back at her. "I know the extent of your betrayal, the duration of your affair, your denigration of me and our marriage. I witnessed what you did with him, the way you dressed up for him. I heard all the comparisons, all the lies. You made a fool out of me. I can't imagine how stupid you were to believe that you could get away with it, and unless I'm overlooking something, there is nothing more to be said about that. I'm the fool here, not you," Polly confessed, tears running down her cheeks. My voice was full of disappointment. "You didn't want me to find out at all. You wanted to keep it a secret, to continue to lie, to sleep with your lover behind my back. That's the point, Polly. I can forgive your infidelity. After all, we're all human and we all make mistakes. But it wasn't a mistake, it was a mistake. It was a choice you made. You chose to keep it a secret, to lie, to cheat and to hide your affair." And I was so disgusted, I could hardly speak, and sobbing uncontrollably. Now that Polly realizes my pain and the gravity of her actions, there are no more excuses or justifications but to admit my guilt. Well, I'm guilty and I hate myself. But I don't want a divorce. I'll do whatever it takes to be with you. I think I need counseling. Maybe we can go together and find out what's wrong with me. Please don't leave me." I paused for a moment to consider her plea. "Polly, you can go to counseling and do whatever you want to do. I'll be there to support you," I finally replied. "But I can't live with a woman who has abandoned me so callously. Your behavior and the things you say reveal your true feelings. I see no prospect of being with someone who feels this way about me. I know there are other women out there who would cherish the chance to be with me. You had that chance and you chose to pass it up. Enjoy the time you have with your daughters." But before you answer my questions, I have two questions for you to consider. First, why are you risking everything for this? And second, is it worth it? I expressed my deep disappointment in his destruction of my marriage and hinted at the potential consequences. I outlined the repercussions of his behavior and detailed my demands for compensation. You will pay Polly's rent and car payment for the next 3 years. That's your punishment. You can get off easy, Jasper. Despite everything that's happened, I care about my cheating wife and want her to be taken care of. Now that you've played a role in this matter, since you've played a role in this affair, you're going to have to comply with my demands, an arrangement that will help Polly get back on her feet after I kick her out, and if you don't, I'm going to make sure that you lose your job, and that Regina learns of your infidelity. And that's what happens when you seduce a married woman, and that's what happens to people like you, and you should know that there are consequences to your actions, so why don't you just go for the single woman instead of tearing up your family? And that's cowardly, Jasper, and that's why you should be punished, and you can get out of it, too. Hurt, however, she never managed to regain my respect or trust. Jasper faithfully paid his alimony every month because I knew what would happen if he didn't. I could have put her through more pain, but the loss of my family and my love was punishment enough. Despite counseling, Polly was unable to provide a satisfactory explanation for her behavior. Because I do love you, I am happy with our life together, but this is something new and exciting, and I can't control my frustration as I question her. If you are truly happy, why are you dressing up and wearing provocative clothes for him, and why are you engaging in behaviors with him that you've never done with me? I believe you owe us so much, and for those of us who have been cheated on, it remains a mystery that cannot be solved thanks to the behavior of these two cheating couples. I'm not sure I'll ever be able to fully trust or commit to another woman again. It's a sad reality, but one I have to accept. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story. If you enjoyed it, please consider bookmarking and subscribing, and if you haven't already, feel free to share your thoughts on the events in the comments below.